I made a TikTok like just now complaining about something, and I'm gonna complain about it again now. But I was complaining about. Oh, I just got a new follower. Thank you. Appreciate it. That was a really weird noise. I was not prepared for that. So, I was complaining about the Marvel fandom. Now, there's much to complain about within this fandom. It's like very toxic and annoying. So, settle in. Like, I've been kind of taking a break from the Marvel fandom because, damn, if they aren't annoying as fuck. One, Shang-Chi comes out in 2 weeks. I have not seen a lick of advertisement about that. That's Marvel's fault and Disney's fault. But I haven't even seen anyone be hyped for it. I haven't seen any type of excitement about it, and it's just annoying. And it's the same people that are very performative. They're very performative on TikTok and shit. And it's like those like white saviors that come onto TikTok and complain about stuff that's fake. And they'll like find little things to nitpick and they'll complain and make it about real world issues. And like, if you don't like this character, you're racist. And if you're not on team whatever the fuck, you're, a horrible person. And it's like, yo, can't I just enjoy what I want to enjoy in peace? I don't know. But it's those same people that are ignoring Shang-Chi. It's like all of a sudden they can't fucking see. They can't read. If you're gonna do something, at least support that movie. Because I haven't seen anything. Same, it's suspicious, especially since it's the first movie. It's about an age. Exactly. This movie is like breaking barriers here. And like, I don't want to sound whatever because I'm very excited for Shang-Chi. I loved Sam Wilson becoming Captain America. Love Loki being gender fluid and bi and all of that stuff that is deemed political in Marvel. It's just certain people. I don't even know how to explain what I'm feeling. Because, like, it's like certain people that take those things and, like, twist it to, like, fit their little performative posts. And it annoys me. It's like, yes, it's a big deal that this character is this and that Sam is Captain America. And I love that. Right, those people are so annoying, like, LGBTQ and black people existing is... Yes, okay. Yes. You're putting the words right into my mouth. Thank you. Because, like, I feel like me complaining about it seems like I don't like those things, and I do. Like, I love all that. I love progression in the community and in the movies and representation and all of that. Super important. But, like, it's just certain people make it annoying. Like, I like Steve a lot more than a lot of people because a lot of people hate his ending and all that shit. But, like, I see so many posts, like, talking shit about Steve because Sam is Captain America now. And it's like, those people need to understand that, like, they're two different people. You know? Like, Steve, like, you can hate Steve's character. That's fine. Whatever. But it's like, they're, like, putting Steve down just to put Sam up, if that makes sense. And it's like, it's not necessary. You can have them both be up here. You can lift Sam up and keep Steve where he is. You know what I mean? Steve and Sam were literally like besties. They would not want that. They would not want you to be pitting them against each other. That's not the point of it, you know? And then it's like the people that wanted Bucky to be Captain America, which I will never understand because Bucky is tired. There are certain people that think Bucky should have been Cap. And like, I don't think that because I have my own like reasons because I just don't think it's in Bucky's character to be Captain America. But it's like those certain people that think that Bucky should be Captain America because he was Steve's best friend and whatever. He's also a super soldier. Whatever the fuck their reasoning is. Other people will like attack them and call them racist because whatever. Some of them could be. That could be their opinion because they're racist. But then some people could just think that because of whatever the fuck reasoning they have. But yeah, see, I wouldn't like it. I like Sam as Cap, but like certain people, if they think, hey, I would have liked Bucky to get the mantle, and then they're called racist, it's like, those are those performative people that I'm talking about that are starting to annoy me. Because at first, it's like, I understand everything you're saying. I understand it. because representation is important and it's taken forever to happen in the first place. And people that shit on it, like when they were shitting on Loki for being gender fluid, I backed him up. I was like, bitch, no. Loki has always been gender fluid in Norse mythology up until now. This is not nothing new. So I don't know. I understand all of their things. It's just that sometimes they get a little bit too into it, where it's like certain people can't have their own opinions anymore. Like everyone in the Marvel fandom is just like being molded into this cookie cutter mold of what our opinions are allowed to be, and I hate that. I gotta be honest, I didn't love Peggy as Cap in What If. I'm not gonna cancel you, girl, because I didn't really like it either. I understood, like, I got the whole, like, girl power message that they were trying to send. And it was cute, but, like, I don't know, it pissed me off. There was a lot of things in that What If episode that pissed me off. The show is still cute. I'm still gonna finish it. It's still good, whatever. But there are a lot of things in that episode that I was like, oof. For one, Sebastian Stan's voice acting. Now, girly. He's an amazing actor. Love him. His voice acting wasn't the best, but I also just think that the animation of Bucky's face didn't match like what was coming out of his mouth. So it made it seem even worse. His facial expressions didn't match his tone at all. And I was like, what the fuck? So there was that. I didn't care for Peggy being Captain Carter. It was whatever. It was a cute little like, oh, girl power moment. But we have a lot of amazing women in the MCU that are great by themselves. Like, I don't think that was necessarily needed because it does seem like it overshadows Sam a little bit because they like literally I feel like they promoted Captain Carter more than they promoted Sam as Captain America. That makes sense. And it's like very weird. And then also what I didn't like about it is how like Steve got injured before he was supposed to like be injected. So then Peggy like stepped in and it like I might just be reading into this, but to me, being a Captain America stan and a Steve stan, it bothered me teensy bit because it like made the whole Captain America the First Avenger a little bit invalid because the entire reason that Steve was chosen over some other guy that was stronger than him or built better for the army was because of Steve's moral compass and Steve's like care for other people and him wanting to do what's right. And that's what makes his character so special and not just some guy that got the super soldier serum. So the fact that he got hurt and then Peggy just stepped in for him, I love Peggy's character, but what the fuck was that? Because if that's the case, you could have just gone with her to begin with instead of pulling him out of Brooklyn, this guy that has asthma and heart conditions and he's like this big and putting him in there, you know what I mean? Like that was the whole significance of Steve's character. Like before he got the serum, it was like good becomes better and bad becomes worse, right? And that's why he was chosen, because he's a good man. And that was like his whole thing. And then they just threw Peggy in there because they wanted to have a girl power moment. And as much as I love Marvel, they have good women already. Strong, powerful women already. They have Wanda. They have Carol. They have Natasha before they fucking killed her. They have Gamora. They have Nebula, Mantis. All these women, Okoye. Like, there was really no need for that. And I think Peggy was a strong, independent woman before she became Captain Carter. I loved her in the movie. Like, she doesn't need that. I liked Howard Stark. Yeah, Howard Stark was sickening. Loved him. There was a scene that pissed me off spectacularly, which was, the scene when they thought that Steve, like, blew up on the train. And Peggy screamed, like, Steve! And Bucky just looked up and was like, Peggy, we gotta go. Hello? What the fuck kind of out of character shit is that? Because if I recall correctly, in Captain America the First Avenger, there was like fire coming up from the floor and Bucky jumped over the ledge and he was waiting for Cap and Cap was like, just go on without me. And he's like, no, not without you. But yet all of a sudden, Steve blows up and Bucky's only words are, Peggy, we gotta go. I'm sorry? Not even a little, like, for your best friend? Not even a little bit of shock, not a tear was shed. And then that fucking joke, oh, you almost ripped my arm off. It was funny, but like they made Peggy like OP as Captain America. Like Steve and Sam aren't right there. And now all of a sudden she time traveled to the future, which last I checked, the Tesseract is the space stone and not the time stone. So I don't know how that happened either. Because the Tesseract, I thought, could be wrong, but I thought can, bring you to other places in space. It's like a little teleportation device and like harnesses energy from space. But where she walked into it in the 1940s and walked out of it in 2012. I mean, it's something to fill the Marvel void until Shang-Chi comes out and the Eternals and Spider-Man and Hawkeye and all those other things. I'm complaining a lot. No, I love complaining. Don't worry about it. I love complaining too. Speaking of which, I got into an argument today with my best friend about something kind of Marvel related, so I guess I'll share. Drama, oh my god, spill. It was about Brie Larson, okay? And I for one, I love Brie Larson. I kid her because I want to go into the film industry as well. And me and her have similar, like, dry senses of humor. And men hate us. So I just, I feel for her and, I relate to her a lot. So today I was talking to my friend about, I don't know how she came up, but we were talking about her. Oh, okay. My manager had told my best friend about this thing that she had said about Star Wars, like how she wants to be in the Star Wars franchise, and she said that she wants to be, quote unquote, the most powerful Jedi in the Star Wars franchise. Pissed him off too, because my best friend loves Star Wars way more than Marvel. Like, I'm the Marvel bitch, he's the Star Wars bitch, So when he heard that, he was like, and I looked it up because I was like, I can't imagine her saying that. Like, I've seen almost every Brie Larson interview on YouTube, and I'm subscribed to her YouTube. I don't see her saying that, personally. Knowing the way that her sense of humor works, because it's a lot like mine, I can imagine her saying that as a joke, like, sarcastically. I looked it up, and, like, all the reports, there was no actual record of her saying it, basically. It was reportedly, like, Brie Larson reportedly wants to be, quote, the most powerful Jedi ever, or whatever. So I told my friend, I was like, I mean, she could have been saying it as a joke. Also, she could have never said that to begin with, and someone just wrote that, because there's no record of it. Those are probably rumors. Exactly. And my friend is not part of, like, fandom community. He, like, just got into Star Wars, so he doesn't know anything about, like, these celebrities, like, these rumors that get out about literally anything. But anyway, I digress. What got to the argument, really, was that he left. It was on a FaceTime call with him and my cousin. And so while he left, I was on my phone watching a YouTube video of Brie Larson, since I had been, like, looking her up and shit. And I was watching it, and it was her Wired autocomplete interview. In it, somebody asks, like, can Captain Marvel beat Superman? Right? And she says, I don't even know why you'd Google that. Duh. Like that. Which, to me, is sarcastic, because that's how Brie Larson is in any other video of her that I've ever seen. And I know because I'm the exact same way. And I know it was sarcasm because Superman is undoubtedly the strongest superhero ever in Marvel or DC. So I brought it up to him when he came back into the call. I was like, oh, I just watched this video and Brie literally said this and this when they asked her about if she could beat Superman. I was trying to bring to light the way that she speaks and the way that she's sarcastic about things like that. So that, like, when they asked her about Star Wars, she could have said, oh, I want to be the most powerful Jedi ever. And she could have been joking, and these men took her seriously and wrote a report about it and got mad about something that she was probably joking about. And I Googled it. I Googled, like, Brie Larson, Captain Marvel beats Superman. Just like I thought, article after article after article. Brie Larson says that Captain Marvel can beat Superman. Can Captain Marvel beat Superman? Brie Larson sure thinks so. And all these articles, like, kind of like throwing her name a little bit in the mud, and these, like, articles that are written specifically to make these dude bros upset. And that's why so many people, mostly men, hate her so much. You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to explain to my friend. And instead of that, my friend says, well, she was probably being serious. And I was like, no, she was being sarcastic. And he was like, no, but she could have been being serious about it, though. And I was like, okay. But I watched the video, and she was being sarcastic. And he kept arguing with me and telling me that she could have been being serious. And that was starting to annoy me, because I was like, are you telling me that I'm wrong? Are you telling me that the video that I saw, that what I saw isn't what I saw? And that what I heard wasn't what I heard? Is that what I'm being told? Because when he joined the call back, the video was already done. Like, I was watching it on my phone, and like him and my cousin were on FaceTime on my iPad. Keep that in mind, okay? So like my cousin was in the shower, but he heard the video. My friend left the call, joined back when it was over. So I just told him about this, and he's telling me, oh no, she's not being sarcastic, she was being serious. How do you know? Did you also watch the Brie Larson Wired autocomplete interview? Am I missing something? I don't know, maybe I'm just like, I'm missing something, but like, am I right? Because how would he know? Because how would he know? Exactly. So I started to get hot, because I was like, are you telling me that I'm wrong? I'll argue for however long we want to argue for, because I'm a Taurus. So I was saying she was being sarcastic. Are you telling me that I can't deduce whether someone's being sarcastic or not? Are you telling me that I have like no communication skills whatsoever, that I can't tell when someone's joking? I was getting upset. And when I get upset, maybe this is something I need to work on, but when I get upset, I get loud. And like me and him have argued about a lot of things Marvel related, and I'll get into that next if you want to hear about it. Like, I will get into it. But this one specifically pissed me off because it wasn't just about what we were arguing about. It wasn't just about like whether Brie Larson was being serious or whether she was joking. It was him trying to tell me that I'm wrong when he literally had not seen what I was referring to. Like, and then I started to yell at him about that, and he was like, I'm not saying that you're wrong. Like, you could be right, but she also could have been being serious. Okay, but she wasn't, though, because I saw the video, and she was joking. And here's the thing, me and him argue about everything. Like, we argue all the time. And not that long ago, he tried to tell me that I'm the one that's always arguing with him, and that I always start all these arguments, and that I can never, like, admit that I'm wrong, which is true. I am very argumentative, and I won't admit that I'm wrong. And also, he tried to tell me that when today he literally argued with me out of nowhere. Because today it wasn't just like a regular argument. It was like I was upset. Like, I was like yelling. And like I normally yell because I get like excited about things, and like I get passionate, and then I'll like raise my voice a little. And it's like a pet peeve of my own, people like don't let me finish speaking. Sometimes I cut people off actually when I'm really like, I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not gonna act all high and mighty. I have cut people off in arguments before. But like when I get cut off, when I'm trying to like make a point, it pisses me off. And he kept speaking, and so like I just kept speaking over him louder and louder. And then he tried to make me seem like this crazy bitch, and I hate that. Hate that trope. You know, like the crazy emotional woman yelling again. He was trying to make his point make sense, which still to this minute I don't think it made sense. Like he kept like wording his point to like make it sound like I'm being completely unreasonable in my anger. He's like, no, like we're both not right or wrong. Like it could be interpreted either way. And I'm like, no, it can't. You're wrong. And so after like 45 minutes of arguing, he went and watched the video finally, after arguing with me for 45 minutes, mind you, okay? And guess what he said? He's like, she was being serious. Who can't admit when they're wrong again? Me? I'm gonna pull up the video, actually. That's what I'm gonna do.
Can Captain Marvel beat Superman? I can't believe you even have to Google that. Duh. Brie Larson.
Okay, I was letting that simmer for a sec. So he skips to that part in the video, watches that, and he's like, no, but she's being serious. And I'm like, anyone with brain cells who watches the whole video as in like the whole thing, she's super sweet, super nice. And then in that one section, she acts like that. She doesn't, if she were to act like that for the whole interview, she can't have been being sarcastic for the entire interview. So then I would agree with him. Okay, yeah, she was being serious. Whatever. But if you're like super nice and sweet, like, hi, I'm Brie Larson, and and oh yeah, I play Captain Marvel, and then can Captain Marvel beat Superman? I don't even know why you'd ask that. Duh. That's sarcastic to me. Am I wrong? That shit really, really got under my skin. Like, really bad. And it was more so just him wanting to argue with me about something he doesn't know anything about. And him trying to like, and he was like, I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm just trying to show you a different point of view and a different side. And I'm like, I don't care about the other side. I don't care about the other point of view. I don't give a fuck. You can save it next time. And we would have saved ourselves about an hour of arguing because I don't care. He was like, I mean, it's my opinion. Like, I have every right to express my opinion. You saying she could have been being serious, and you added the could have been because you know that you haven't even seen the video I was talking about. It's not an opinion. That's not an opinion. Just saying she could have been this. You could say that about literally anything. Like, just because you think something doesn't mean that it needs to be said out loud. But like, I've never, in all the arguments that him and I have I gotten that angry before. Like, my face was turning red. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I was like, why do you feel the need to argue with me about every fucking thing that I say? Because it's true. And he was just really just digging into my fucking wound, trying to make me sound like I'm completely insane for like reacting the way that I was reacting. Which some would say is gaslighting, but hey. He was like you're literally yelling at me. I don't understand. Like, I've been calm this entire time. Yeah, you've been calm because you don't care. You don't care about Brie Larson. I don't know why you felt the need to give me your opinion. I don't want it. I care about this subject. And I was starting to get emotional with this, bruh. Because I was like, I care about Brie Larson as an actress and as a person, and I feel for her, and I relate to her as someone who wants to go into the same field and sees the way that she's treated in this field, how anything she says, jokingly or not, gets interpreted, and like they demonize her in the media. Like, they demonize her, and she's so sweet. So it was pissing me off. As someone who wants to do the same thing as her, and someone who has the same kind of sense of humor as her, I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I wouldn't want me to make a joke like that and then have 10 different websites make an article about it to get people angry at me. So it bothered me, even though it's such a little tiny thing to argue about. It was annoying to me, and the fact that he kept trying to like give me his point of view, I don't give a fuck about your point of view. Like, I really don't. And then he also was just being annoying because he was like, oh, and like, you're the one that's getting all emotional about it, and like, when your parents get home, you're probably gonna complain to them about me, and when you hang up, I'm just gonna go play basketball with my friends and never think about this again. And I was like, oh, you're so cool. You're so quirky and different for that. Even if she was being serious, or it could be interpreted that she was being serious, which I still think is just plain wrong. And I think any normal person can see that. Even if she was being serious, and I say she's being sarcastic, there's no need to argue with me, especially when I'm trying to make a point about how this woman is criticized so harshly, and then you go and criticize exactly, like, the tone of her words. Like, he was being exactly what I was complaining about to him. Like, a little bit after, I was already past the mode of being angry and yelling, but I was, like, quiet. Like, I was mad and, like, not talking to him. And his sister came in the room and asked him what he was arguing with me about, because she could hear me yelling from where she was. And he said, I don't know what he said. He was like explaining it to her, but he was like taking my words out of context. He was telling her and complaining to her about me, which is the exact thing that he said I was gonna do. But yeah, so there was another argument that we got into a while ago. We got into it on 2 separate occasions, actually. And it was when Loki episode 5 came out. Him and I had watched the episode when it came out, but my cousin hadn't seen it yet. So, like the next day, me and my cousin watched it, and he was on FaceTime on the phone, but he was playing like video games or whatever. And then the scene came up when classic Loki, like, you know, created Asgard as an illusion. And my cousin was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And I'm like, right? Like, he literally created an illusion of, like, the fucking planet of Asgard. Like, that shit is wild. Those are, like, my exact words, right? And Mans literally takes his headset off. He hears me speak, he takes his headset off, pauses his game, just to tell me that I'm wrong, that a classic Loki didn't build an illusion of the planet of Asgard. He built an illusion of the city of Asgard. Thank you for that clarification. And I was like, I mean, he basically created the entire thing, so I would call that a planet. Again, though, I didn't know that I was under oath and that my words were being typed on a fucking typewriter, so I didn't know that I had to tread very lightly with how I was speaking. I was just talking to my cousin, and he was arguing with me that it's a city and not a planet because he didn't build the mountains in the back of Asgard, which is part of the planet. He only built the city part. And I was like, I don't even think Asgard is a city. I don't think they have cities because it's a fucking planet that's flat and it only has one area where people live. So why would there need to be cities if there's only one place where the people live? And like, he was trying to, like, that's the shit that pisses me off. Because he says that I argue with him. But like, you argue with me over like minuscule little details about things. And I'm not shy. Like, I will argue back. So we got into a whole argument about how I didn't think Asgard had cities. He found this map on the Marvel fandom page. He found this map that really made me laugh. Like, it really did. He thought that he found rock solid evidence that he was right. And he pulled up a map of Asgard from Norse mythology. It was a Norse mythology map. I'm going to show it to you. Oh, it's this. Okay, it's this. Yes. Here it is. He pulled up this, right? He pulled up this map right here as rock hard evidence that I'm wrong and that he's right. Here it is, okay? And I laughed in his face when he sent me this. I was like, see, this is why, boys and girls, we don't argue about things that we don't fucking know anything about. Because here we are, here's Asgard, and then he pointed this out to me. I don't know if you can see it up here, this thing covers it, but it says City of Asgard right there, right? So he was like, you see, it says city right there, you see? And I was like, are you fucking joking? And I had to go full on like nerd, like for real. Because I know about Norse mythology. I don't know like a ton, but I know like a good amount about it because of Marvel. Like, I looked into it and shit. So like, I know. And so I was like, bruh, right off the bat, Loki's castle? Loki doesn't have a castle. So let's start there. And he was like, no, because why would it say Loki's castle? And I'm like, because Loki is a character in Norse mythology. He's a god, a Norse god. That's why he has his own castle. Like the stupidity, just like, oof, you know? He was like, and look, you see the Rainbow Bridge? Like, that's not real. And I'm like, yeah, it's not, but people believed it. Like, this is what people thought Asgard was like. This is the Norse mythology map. But he thought it was an MCU map because of the Rainbow Bridge. And I'm like, do you think that the MCU invented the Rainbow Bridge? Because they didn't. That was their form of passage. That was their transport in Norse mythology as well as Marvel. Marvel took it from Norse mythology. And if you knew anything at all, you would know that Vanaheim and Alfheim and Nidavellir are 3 completely different places. They're different planets. Nidavellir is a star where Mjolnir and Stormbreaker were made. But then he was still somehow telling me that I'm wrong because he found this. This was his thing. He said he found this map on the Marvel, on the Marvel page. So he thought that it was like a Marvel map. And I'm like, no. Just because it's on this page, Marvel fandom, doesn't mean that it's canon in the Marvel universe. Maybe if you read this, they probably talk about it. So you see how I get easily annoyed by these things. Because it's you're talking about things you don't know anything about. Bestie, do some fucking research first, please. It's literally what if in real life. No, stop it right now. Literally, I want to see a what if episode. What if Brie Larson wasn't being sarcastic? That I'll believe. I'll watch that episode. If people were to constantly give their other sides to everything people were to say, then humanity would crumble. So, that's my thoughts on that. So, I started thinking about this last week. And it's really not that serious, but it is something that I realized. So, I'm going to talk about it. Bucky, when he was the Winter Soldier, was just badass. We all know that. Okay. In Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he's badass still, but it's just they nerfed him a little bit. Because I was watching Captain America the Winter Soldier the other day, which is what prompted this thought in my head. Because I was like, dude, the Winter Soldier is deadly, dude. He was putting in work. The way he had that AK with the grenade launcher, just sickening with it. Then when that got, kicked away, he pulled out an SMG out of nowhere. And then Captain America kicked the SMG out his face. Right off the bat, pulled out a pistol. He was just stacked, okay? Piece upon piece. And it was just sticking. And, his combo moves, he was just combating everything Steve was giving him, okay? That highway fight scene is impeccable. One of the best fight scenes in all of the MCU. And at the end, too, pilots came out and they were we're the only air support Captain Rogers has got, or whatever. It was 10 pilots going out to help Steve. Bucky comes out of nowhere. Psh, grenade. Blows 5 of them up. Psh, another grenade. Blows another 2 of them up. Ba 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 ba. Shoots one of them dead. Another one he kicks in the face and throws them into a fucking helicopter propeller. And he just gets fucking obliterated. And then another one throws a grenade at him. And then he takes the grenade before it blows up and throws it into a jet that was closing, so that it closed and then it blew up with the guy inside it. I'm getting very passionate about this. And then he gets up on top of the jet and there was a pilot in there, and then he took his gun and just killed him dead, headshot. And then he hopped in the jet right next to him and flew it. And I'm like, that is sickening. He is so insane. Dude. And the way that he ripped Sam's wing off and just kicked him off the helicarrier, 1, 2, boom, bow, done, okay? And then in Civil War, they kind of nerfed him a little bit. He was still sickening though. He literally threw Sam. He threw him. And Sam hit his back on the wall or whatever. And then he was able to overpower Steve in the elevator scene. They were fighting, and then he was pushing Steve in the elevator, and then he went and then Steve fell down the elevator shaft. So he's overpowering Steve. He's still deadly, okay? Whether he's the Winter Soldier or Bucky, he has the same amount of training, the same amount of strength, speed, agility, stamina. He should be able to do the same kinds of things, just on the right side. Instead of trying to kill Steve, you could do the same thing to those aliens in Infinity War. Just because he was fighting on the wrong side at first doesn't mean that he suddenly forgets all of his fucking training. He can still fight the same way. And then in Falcon and Winter Soldier, the scene that really aggravated me to my core, was the scene of him and Sam fighting John Walker. And I love Sam. Love him to death. Okay? But Sam doesn't have super soldier serum. John did and Bucky did, right? So Sam was kind of like in a situation. Like Sam was doing amazing for what he had. Sam was doing great. But somehow Bucky, who damn near almost killed Steve, if it wasn't for Steve saying, I'm with you till the end of the line, and then Bucky spared him. But Bucky was going to kill Steve. Like, he was able to overpower Steve on several occasions. How is it that you're losing a 2v1? I'm speechless, y'all. How was he losing a 2v1? And John had just gotten the super soldier serum like that day in the episode right before at the end. Like, he stole it, remember? So like, he's new to that. And I get that John is like a really good soldier, and that's why, you know, like they chose him to be Captain America because he's such a good soldier. I don't give a fuck. Bucky is an assassin. And Bucky was also a soldier, so he has soldier training as well as assassin training and spy training. Why was he getting his ass whooped? And he had Sam there too, helping him out. I don't understand. And not to say that he did bad, like he got some good hits in, like he still had like a lot of strength, but like, dude, it just wasn't the same, dude. Even if they're all super soldiers, these are all kids. Children. Teenagers. Young adults that took super soldier serum. And Bucky was a trained soldier and a trained assassin and spy for like 60 years. And these kids, these homeless kids that took super soldier serum one day, all of a sudden can beat Bucky up. Like, I don't care that you're a super soldier. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden you know how to fight. Those are two different things. And it's not even just Falcon and Winter Soldier that did this, because Infinity War did it too. With these damn alien dogs, all he was doing was shooting at them. Like, I get it. Shooting's more, you know, it's more effective. But also, we have, like, barely any scenes of him at all in Infinity War and Endgame. But in the couple scenes we do get, it's just him shooting a gun for, like, 2 seconds. And then that scene where he picked up Rocket and just spun around in a circle. Like, I know he could do better than that. I want to see him, like, jump on an alien's back and, like, knock his fucking teeth out, you know? Just because I know he can do it. But they just didn't show it. And in Endgame, we got fed scraps. All we saw was him walk through the portal when all the other characters walked through the portal. And then 1 second and a half scene of him shooting. That's it. I've literally read better fight scenes with Bucky in fan fictions than I've seen on the screen with my own 2 eyes. Words, me reading words on a page was giving me more than what Infinity War and Endgame and Falcon and Winter Soldier was giving me.